get started here in just a few moments. The guys are getting ready to go. The guys and girls, I should say, are getting ready to go qualify. Just a quick change in the festivities for tonight. Usually it would be me out there racing and you get to watch my in-car. However, my face was giving me problems. I couldn't concentrate and I was going to end up wrecking somebody. So tonight we will be broadcasting the race. And we will have all 35 laps at Watkins Glen, the 2.84 mile track. I'm going to let you watch the guys as I finish getting ready, and definitely like and share. This is the second round of the playoffs, so want to get some attention on these guys, especially the top cars in the playoffs, as 3 of them will be eliminated tonight, and we'll be watching those 3 drivers closely all night long. And we're looking at the points leader there, Scott Snodgrass, in a new paint job, it looks like. Yeah, he's been playing with the spec mapping, as you see him coming through during practice. They are pushing hard through practice, and I'll be able to comment some more on that here in just a few minutes. As I said, they got about 1 minute left to practice. We're going to be watching just a little bit of this, and then we'll watch a little bit of qualifying, and then we'll get to watch some great racing tonight. And as practice comes to a close here, folks, they will go out. They have 5 minutes and 2 laps of qualifying. Some of these guys will only get 1 lap in. Some of these guys won't qualify at all. We are set, I do believe, to see Scott Snodgrass, Scotty Too Hottie, qualify tonight. We'll see if he goes out and qualifies. Hopefully we'll get to see him turn some laps. I do want to talk about the points situation. We have 3 drivers that will be eliminated tonight from the playoffs. So right now, as it stands, Scott Snodgrass and AJ lead the points with let me get the points pulled back up here because I just went blank. But Scott and AJ are leading the points. Kyle and Richie, then Jared, David, Brian Oshenka, and Jeff Hinkle and Jody Ogden. Now, Jody, Jeff, and Brian, all 3 are on the bubble. So this race will be crucial for at least 3 drivers. We've got 9 drivers in the playoffs. After tonight, we will have 6. And they are not... The point situation is kind of close at the back, but right now Scott Snodgrass is in the lead. He's got 24 points. AJ Godsey has 23. Kyle Holden is 21. Richie West is 19. Jared Heasley 17. David Garman 16. Brian Oshenka is 15. Jeff Hinkle is 14, and Jody Ogden is 13. So you see they're pretty close from about 4th back to 9th. 1 or 2 positions is going to make all the difference in the world. So these 9 guys are definitely running for the points tonight. But we've got quite a few drivers out on track tonight. Looks like we got about 21, 22 drivers out on track tonight. They will do 35 laps around this 2.43 mile track. It is 8 turns, but they're going to go right tonight, not just left. So it'll be a little bit different for some of these guys, and a lot of these guys are definitely not road racing experts. Some of them are. And we'll definitely see some different strategies tonight as they can go. They run a 60% fuel load, so they're only going to have 20 to 25 laps. Some are saying 19, as low as 18, 19 laps on a tank of fuel. However, it is a 35-lap race, so if they can make it to about laps 17, 18, they could probably go the distance on one stop. However, the tires wear very quickly. The track is a bit hotter than it's been in practice, so they were having some problems getting up off the corners and getting back on the gas. That has been a problem. The track temperature was about 118 degrees. They only have 2 extra tire sets, so they start with 1 and they've got 2 additional sets of tires. I imagine we'll see 1 or 2 people stop for both sets of tires just to see if they can get some benefit and be a little bit faster. They do have 1 fast repair, and I imagine some of these guys will be needing that. Now, I say some of these guys, we've got Nicole and Charlotte in the field tonight as well. Nicole Kriesel looks like she's currently qualified in about 16th. And we'll just go through the qualifying order. Right now, qualifying as it stands with just a few minutes left to go, they've got about a minute left, and looking at David Garman and Jody Ogden on the front row. David is about sixth in points. Jody is last. They're both looking to secure their spot, but Kyle Holden and AJ Godsey, both up in the front of the points, are right in front of them. Stephen Gibson and Harley Barletta, and Harley is always competitive everywhere. Kevin Reed and Scott Snodgrass are 7th and 8th. Richie West and Jeff Hinkle are 9th and 10th. Jared Heasley, Mike Smith are 11th and 12th. J.J. Parr and Jeff Zappa are 13th and 14th. Larry Ashby and Mark Ackerman are 15th, 16th. Nicole Kriesel and R.J. Buchanan are at the back. And I would imagine we're going to see a couple of people that went out there and did not qualify tonight. I know Cheryl was in practice, but I don't see her having put down a qualifying. There she is. She just put a lap down. She is currently showing in 19th place. And Jason Room is starting 21st. Brian Oshanka is starting 20th. These guys are getting out there on pit road. Let's go take a look at Jody Ogden in the 2 car. We'll be looking at several different views tonight. There's David Garman and Jody Ogden. And as I mentioned earlier, Scotty Too Hottie is back there. Once he loads up, we'll go take a look at his new paint scheme. Do not see Scott loaded in. Larry Ashby's also running a different paint scheme tonight. As we kind of just look through the field right quick here. There's the 06 of David Garman. Right behind him is the 57 and the 18 of Kyle Holden and AJ Godsey. And definitely look for AJ to be moving through this field. But I do know that Jody is quite a road racer when he really puts his mind to it. So I've seen him race here in the ARCA cars and do very, very well. So I expect to see great things come out of that car tonight as well. Just taking a quick look through our field here. There's the 64 of Kevin Reed. We're waiting for the 22 of Scott Snodgrass. Just has not loaded in yet. I'd like to show off that new car. He's using some of that new iRacing spec mapping. So we'll get to see his shiny new paint scheme tonight. As they start to roll off for their single pace lap. I do not see the 22 of Scott. It does not look like he is loaded in yet. I'm not sure if he's having a connection issue or what is going on there, but we will try and find him here in a few minutes. He definitely is going to try there. Oh, that's Jody, and he's using some new shiny new spec mapping as well. As we watch him come up through the top of the S's and down onto the long straightaway, we will see as they come down into the bus stop, we will see a lot of people go off track here tonight. We'll also see a lot of people pick up a lot of positions here tonight. And here they come down through the turns, still showing Scott Snodgrass not in the field. But again, David Garman and Jody Ogden are starting at the front. They will lead these guys down. We're coming down through the big right-handed sweeper. We'll see some passes here, and we'll see some people push a little too hard and slide off into that grass there a couple times, I would imagine. Now, I know a lot of these guys have had extra practice sessions this week. That'll definitely play to their advantage. A lot of these guys have put in a lot of extra time, especially these top 9 drivers in the points. They're trying to secure a championship. And as we come through the second to last turn, the pace truck will drop off down onto pit road, and we will see the 06 of David Garman take the green flag here momentarily. 35 laps. There goes the pace truck. There's David Garman to the inside. He gets a big jump. The 18 of Kyle Holden jumps down into second already. Jody Ogden in third. They're all taking it fairly easy through turn 1. Looked like we had somebody go off back there. Not sure who, as we watch some of these guys come up through the S's. As we go looking for the... Looks like it was David Garman that had some problems in turn 1. He's fallen back just a bit. We'll see where scoring shows him here in just a moment. No, I'm sorry, that is the wrong car. There's David Garman. I was reading the numbers wrong. That was Richie West that had some problems down through turn 1, but he has recovered and he's starting to move back up. As we see the number 1 of David Garman come through the last turn, completing the first lap of 35. And he has Kyle Holden right behind him. Jody Ogden is holding on to third, but he's lost a little bit of time on this first lap. There is Jody coming through turn 1. As we fall back, we see Steven Gibson currently running 4th. AJ Godsey in 5th place. Kevin Ree has moved up to 6th currently. Looks like Harley Barletta in the 55 has fallen back to 7th. We haven't seen a whole lot of positions change so far. And it looks like there is the 22 of Scott Snodgrass has got back out on the track. He's currently shown in 17th. So he is going to be looking to move his way to the front. Again, he is the points leader as he dives underneath the 5 and picks up another spot. We watch him come down to the last 2 turns. Now, I will tell you that Scott has spent a lot of time practicing road courses in the last few months, done a lot of road racing. I know he's been to this track numerous times in numerous different cars. That may give him a big advantage. These Cup cars are a bit of a different monster than a Porsche or a Corvette C8R, both of which he does very good. As he looks like he's about to make a move on the 37 of Mark Ackerman. Little bit of contact coming up, starting up the hill, but he manages to save it. Mark saves it, and they continue forward. As we go back front, David Garman has already opened up a 1.5-second lead on the field. Remember, this road course racing is unlike the usual ovals these guys run on, so they will not have any cautions tonight. This 35 laps will go green the whole time unless there's a major catastrophe and the admins choose to throw a caution. And we'll work our way back through the field. We see Kyle Holden currently running in second. Looks like Jody Ogden is still holding on to the third place. No surprise here. AJ Godsey has moved up into fourth place and is charging forward. And here comes the 64, Kevin Reed. Kevin's put in a lot of extra work this week. He started in 7th, already up to 5th. I imagine he's going to pick up a few more spots before this is all said and done. Behind him in 6th place is the 55 of Harley Barletta. Then we have Steven Gibson. Drop back here to Richie West and Jeff Hinkle. Jeff in that 23 looking to get by Richie, and Richie is trying to close up a little bit of gap. He's picked up one position so far, and Richie's lap times are actually pretty good thus far. Pretty competitive actually with the leader, so a lot of these guys are running pretty consistent laps, just trying to take it easy. I know some of the strategies was take it easy, save fuel, save tires, and not make mistakes. We go back, Scott Snodgrass has moved up into 10th already. He is charging towards the front. He's got some ground to make up after some problems at the start of the race. It looks like he might have picked up another position or two, as there was problems back in turn 1. Go find Larry Ashby in the 34. It looks like he was involved in looked like there was some trouble in turn 1. It is very easy to overdrive down into turn 1. We'll see these guys, just like it's very easy to overdrive into here, into the bus stop. You have to get out of the throttle early, get back in it. That way you can get back in it sooner. There is the 12th place car of Jason Room in that black and yellow 81 car there. And he is being chased by J.J. Parr. There's JJ in the Fanatec car, currently shown in 13th with Mark Ackerman. Looks like Mark has slipped back a little bit. We're starting to see some people already coming off of pit road. There is Jeff Zappa in the 56. But from early first lap incidents, some of these guys are starting to get back up off pit road, trying to make up some positions and get a good finish out of this. There is RJ Buchanan. He is currently running 15th, started in 18th. He's been moving forward. The number 37 of Mark Ackerman there. and the number 6 of Nicole Kriesel. Nicole doing quite well tonight. Currently running in 7th place. She's definitely not the usual road course ace, but she was doing quite well in practice tonight. I expect her to see her moving up through the field before long. Her lap times are not that far off the leaders currently. Behind her is the 8 car. That is Cheryl Newman. That looks like a new paint scheme this week. It is. With the chrome and black look this week, that is a brand new paint scheme. It looks really great. There's Mike Smith, currently shown in 19th, started in 12th. He is working his way back up through the field. Looks like he's one lap down from some issues earlier in the race. As we move back up front to the leader, there is the 06 of David Garman. He had quite a lead earlier, but that car chasing him down right now is the number 18 of Kyle Holden, and he is definitely running him down. Looks like Kyle had a little bit of problem, overdrove into turn 1. Lost a little bit of time. He was close. He was down within 0.7 of a second. Looks like as they come on the straightaway, he's about 2 seconds behind. He's got a lot of ground to make back up, but again, they will have to make at least 1 pit stop, possibly 2. Will depend on the driver and their strategy. As we watch Kyle go around, he's already started making up quite a bit of time. Looks like he is actually, as he slid off going into the second to last turn, he's in the sand trap. He is going to try and recover, but here comes the number 2 car of Jody Ogden, now closes up. He was running in 3rd, and he is closed up on the 2nd place car, and he's bringing AJ Godsey with him. So now 2nd through 4th is within about 1.5 seconds of each other, and David Garman is loving this. After that last lap, he has an 8-second lead coming up the hill. There's your leader, David Garman. As he comes out of the second to last turn. I'm sorry, he was coming out of the bus stop into the long right-handed sweeper, coming to the second to last turn. Let's take a ride along with him on this next lap. Once he goes through the last turn, we'll switch into his in-car and ride around with him for a lap. As he's starting to come up on some lap traffic. So this will definitely play into him, but here we go. As he comes out of the last turn, gets a little loose because the tires do get a little bit slick. It is bumpy out there by the wall. Hits his mark to slow down. We see a car in front of him going wide. It looks like it's Cheryl Newman went a little wide, got a little hot into turn 1. She gets it straightened out. And they start up the hill into the S's. Cheryl stays right and lets David by. And they come onto what is referred to as the back straight or the long straightaway. This is the highest speed part of the track. It slows down into the bus stop, downshifting into second gear, clipping those apexes, and starts getting back on the gas midway through, just easing into the gas as he goes into the long right-handed sweeper. There's Mark Ackerman in the Texas car in front of him. Looks like Mark got a little loose himself coming out of that turn. As we go down into the second to last turn, this is the left-hander. We saw the Kyle Holden car go off here just a moment ago, and now going into the final turn. And you'll see the pit road entry to your right there. But here he comes back down to the start-finish line. That is a lap at Watkins Glen. And here he drives that Ford Mustang back down into turn 1. Got a little wide on that one. He's not been running wide. He's been trying to keep it between the white lines through there. Some people like to run it wide and take the extra momentum, but you lose a little bit. So it's a kind of a balancing act as to how hard you run. Turn 1 is where you can make or break a lap. Turn 1 and the bus stop are the two biggest and most difficult parts of the track. And looks like Kyle Holden has managed to hold on to second place so far in the number 18. As they start to work their way through lap traffic, this will definitely slow some of these guys down. Depends on how much cooperation they get. They are talking to each other on the radio, and that does help a bit, but some of these people they're lapping are also battling for position, so that does make for a bit of a challenge. As they come through the last turn, it looks like Kyle's going to be going to try and get around Mark Ackerman. So we move back to Jody Ogden and AJ Godsey right there. And look, went way too deep into that corner. Scott Snodgrass into the wall outside of turn 1. Looks like he took Jody Ogden with him. Yes, that is the 2 of Jody Ogden. Scott had worked his way all the way up to 5th. That's going to be a big setback. He had quite a run going. Looked like he was just pushing just a hair too hard through there. Let's go take a look at the 22. Make sure he doesn't have any significant damage. The front end's a little bit crumpled. He'll have to watch the temperature. And might lose a little top end down this back straightaway. And when they come back around, it's scoring him and currently back in 15th. We'll see where it shows him after they come back by the start-finish line. Looks like Jody might have slipped back to about 3rd. They did have quite a bit of lap traffic right there. As I said, on the road courses, the scoring is a bit different. They don't update every time, so we'll have to wait and see where these guys shake out when they come back around. But we'll see a major shakeup, and that's especially important when you consider the points situation. This is a playoff race. This is the second playoff race of the season, and they are eliminating 3 at the end of tonight. Prior to this race, Scott Snodgrass was leading AJ, Kyle, Richie, Jarrett, David, Brian Oshenka, Jeff Hinkle, and Jody Ogden was in 9th. Jody's currently showing in 7th, and Scott Snodgrass is currently showing in 16th. Came into the night leading the points. Hopefully he can recover some of that track position. A couple of good pit stops and some good laps. He's definitely been fast tonight. He's started way in the back and managed to work his way all the way up to 5th. He was 18th, I believe, at one point. Managed to get up to 5th. So if anybody can get it done tonight, it'll be Scott. And he is definitely going to try and get back up there to preserve some points. In the meantime, all this is happening behind David Garman, who's got quite a lead on the rest of the field. About 6-second lead on most of the field as everybody, this is lap 14, they'll be at lap 15 as they come past the start-finish line. Around lap 17 to 18, they can go the distance. Some of these guys will be able to go from lap 15, they'll be able to go the distance. So we'll see at what point David Garman decides to go ahead and pass, as we see Mike Smith go wide to let David by. As they come out of the bus stop and around the long sweeper. And there is Kyle Holden way in the back of the shot. Currently showing, Kyle's actually picking up quite a bit of time. He picked up almost a second on that last lap. Just checking the lap time. We'll check the lap times at the line. Looks like Kyle turned a 17.1, and David ran a 1:17.1. Kyle ran a 1:16.2, 9/10 of a second faster that lap. I would imagine with all the early battling and getting out front, David has probably used up all of his tires, and he is just looking forward to getting to that pit stop and getting 4 fresh Goodyears on. As we watch David come through the bus stop. And the number 18 of Kyle Holden in second place. As we mentioned, going through the long right-hand sweeper, he is definitely picking up time on the leader. AJ Godsey has now moved into third. There's AJ coming through the sweeper. Kevin Reed has moved into fourth. It looks like Jody Ogden might have had some more trouble, He was starting to move back up. It looks like he might have stalled after the accident, but as we watch Jody try and get past some of this lap traffic and regain some position, there's Scott Snodgrass. The two of them were involved in that incident in turn 1. As we watch AJ come across the line, looks like David Garman picked up the pace on that last one. He was actually 4/10 of a second faster than Kyle Holden that last lap. But AJ is still keeping a very close pace to both of these guys. Now that he's moved up into third, he does have some distance to make up, about 15 seconds. But with all the lap traffic and all the different strategies, it'll definitely be easy to make up. And if anybody can make up a 15-second deficit, it's somebody like AJ or Jody or Scott Snodgrass. And these guys are all in the points running in the playoffs. As we move back and look at the 64 of Kevin Reed, he is currently showing in fourth, started 7th. He spent a lot of time practicing this week and wasn't super happy with how he was doing last night, but I guarantee you he's super happy right now with how he's doing tonight. As we see, looks like the number 6, Nicole Creasel, is off the track. Looks like she recovers and looks like she might be ducking onto pit road. She has some damage both front and back. Yet Nicole is ducking onto pit road now. And currently David Garman, running the laps he has lapped 11 cars. There's only 10 cars left on the lead lap, and Larry Ashby is now within his sights. If he can get most of this field lapped before he goes in for a pit, he will definitely have an easy night, especially with someone like Scott Snodgrass, who's now back up to 13th place. Looks like Scott went ahead and pitted about 7 laps ago, around lap 10, so he's going to try and split the difference. At some point, I would imagine around lap 23, 24, he'll pit again, but he is definitely going to be making up some time. But the 06 just continues to dominate tonight. His lap times are still beating Kyle Holden's. Let's go fine. There is Larry Ashby coming through the sweeper. He is the last car on the lead lap. We'll be looking for that 06 behind him, see if we can see him come out of the sweeper. He was on the... Now it looks like Larry does have a little bit of breathing room. Also looks like Larry has a little bit of damage. But he is staying out. Going to try and keep that lead lap. Looks like Jody Ogden and Stephen Gibson both pitted. Both are on pit road. They are at the point where they can go the distance from here. As we see both of them coming off pit road now. And there comes Jody back out onto the main track, going up the S's, and right behind him is David Garman. There you saw David Garman coming up the hill in the 06. And let's see, it is showing Jody is currently showing in 7th place, so if David Garman can get around him before he pits, we are coming to the halfway point. I would imagine David is not going to stretch it much further beyond this. Let's see if the leader goes into the pits this time, as Kyle Holden has really closed up the gap. He's down to just about 2.5 seconds back. Depending on where they are on the track, it's been fluctuating between about 2 and 3 seconds back. So we'll see if the 06 dives onto pit road as they come through the last turn. Does not look like he is setting up for pit road. Yes, he does. The leader is ducking onto pit road now. Right at the halfway mark, that will give the lead to Kyle Holden. And Kyle Holden is staying out. He's been out there since the beginning, and he's been running faster laps. The last couple of laps, he's been running a little bit faster than David. So we'll see as they start to lap some of these people. We'll see how this strategy plays out. If Kyle can do 1 or 2 more laps in the same time range, 115 to 116 that he's been doing, that'll definitely give him a big advantage. Looks like AJ Godsey is also pitted, so the only ones that Harley Barletta is on pit road now. Richie West hasn't pitted yet. Neither is RJ Buchanan, Cheryl Newman, Mark Ackerman, Mike Smith, Brian Oshanka pitted about 10 laps ago. Looks like Mike Smith did pit about 15 laps ago. I believe he had some damage earlier. So we'll see now if Kyle Holden comes down pit road as he comes around the last turn. Looks like he did check up a bit, and yes, he is with 16 laps to go. Kyle Holden ducks into pit road, and I do believe that will give the lead back to David Garman as soon as he crosses the start-finish line. As he comes back through the sweeper. Now, because the way the pit road is set up here, it does take a little bit longer. But you will not lose a lap on pit road. Unless you're getting a bunch of repairs done, you actually stay on the lead lap, just quite a ways behind. There is the 06 of David Garman. And it does not look like, it looks like Kyle Holden managed to maintain the lead on that pit stop. It looks like it might have been a timing and scoring issue. David Garman, we saw him further up the hill. And go check in. We see the points leader, Scott Snodgrass, behind. He's still got a little bit of damage, so he hasn't used his fast repair quite yet. He is currently in 11th place, trying to chase down Larry Ashby in 10th. And it looks like most of these folks are going to try and go the distance the rest of the race on their current tire and fuel strategy. However, Scott Snodgrass stopped 11 laps ago due to that incident. And Scott was in the grass, managed to save it, didn't lose too much time, it looked like. And the 18 of Kyle Holden is spun. Let's try and see if we can find what happened to Kyle Holden. Looked like as he was coming through the last turn there, he just clipped the apron and he just clipped the apron and got a little bit loose. And it looks like the 57 of AJ Godsey took advantage. Looks like AJ Godsey will be scored in second place next time by. As they come to 14 laps to go, the current top 10 is David Garman, Kyle Holden, AJ Godsey. I believe AJ Godsey after that incident will be in second, so it'll be David Garman, AJ Godsey, Kyle Holden, Harley Barletta, Stephen Gibson, Jody Ogden, Jeff Hinkle, Richie West, Larry Ashby's up to 9th. Scott Snodgrass after the incident earlier is still back up into 10th place. And yes, AJ Godsey has taken over second position. But it looks like he is about to have his hands full with Kyle. As they start up the S's, Kyle has already closed quite a bit of gap on these guys. And Scott Snodgrass is going to get past fairly easily. As being on those older tires, both of these guys have fresh tires. Scott is managing to keep up as they come out of the bus stop. They are side by side through the long sweeper, and we've got one off to the side, the 26. I do believe that is Jared Heasley. '26 Jared Heasley is back on track. He's currently shown in 20th position, trying to make up some positions. Looks like the 44, Brian Oshanka, is on pit road. Looks like he might be having some difficulties. He was a points leader in the playoffs. However, he chose to start in the back to try and stay out of trouble tonight. We'll see if he's able to get back out on track. As we come back to the leader, David Garman. And David has opened up quite a lead over AJ Godsey. After the pit stops and the incident with Kyle Holden, he now has a 20-second lead. He's going to be coming to 11 to go, and we only have about 7 cars on the lead lap. It looks like Richie West is going to be coming into frame to get lapped by the 06 any time now. And what's interesting about that is that right in front of Richie is Jeff Hinkle and then Jody Ogden, one of our top points guys. Let's take a quick look through here and see Scott Snodgrass, the current points leader coming into tonight, currently shown in 10th place. AJ Godsey was in second place in points, second place on the track. Kyle Holden, third in points, and ironically, third on track. Richie West, fourth in points, and currently showing in 8th on track. Jared Heasley, the number 26, we saw him have some problems just a moment ago. He was 5th in points, and he's currently being showed 19th on track. David Garman, obviously, he came into this race 6th in points, and obviously he is having a dominant performance tonight. He is in the lead, and I would imagine he was close enough in points that this lead might help bump him further up. With Scott being in 10th place, if he doesn't pick up any more positions, he'll lose the points lead, and it'll be a question of who ends up where. Brian Oshanka was 7th in points, and he is currently showing at 21st on pit road. 7 laps down, he might be out of the points race. Jeff Hinkle was 8th in points, currently running 7th on the track, and Jody Ogden Was last place in points coming into this week. He is currently running 6th. I would imagine Jody might just barely be on the bubble and hold it for tonight. As they have 10 laps to go, we're going to watch David Garman come around. He'll be taking the start-finish line. He'll be going 9 laps to go. As we'll go back and take a look, there is A.J. Godsey in that number 57 car. He is currently shown in 2nd and has his hands full with Kyle Holden right behind him in 3rd, that number 18 car. That is Larry Ashby back behind him. He is currently shown in 9th place, 1 lap down, just barely. As we watch them go through turn 1, this will be telling as they've got some laps on these tires now. It'll depend on how they drive in, if they're going to drive in carefully or aggressively, and who gets the better run off of turn 1. We saw Kyle have some problems earlier in the race, but no problems now. He closed that gap back up really quickly and has the momentum coming up through the S's. Will we see a pass for 2nd place? As they come by Nicole Creasel. The draft is definitely coming into play, but which one of them is going to brake harder? And looked like Kyle got on the brakes early, trying to get a run out of the bus stop, coming down. He definitely has the momentum through the sweeper. He's looking to the inside of A.J. Godsey. Does not get the pass, but AJ definitely has got to watch his mirror now because Kyle is right there and he's got a few spots where he definitely has more speed than AJ. But Kyle definitely, Kyle gets the momentum coming out of the last turn, slid to the outside and is making a move down the front straightaway. Has the advantage going into turn 1. Both of them brake. He comes down trying to cut the line off, gets the pass. Manages to hold it outside on those rumble strips. A lot of people struggle with that. If you have all 4 on the rumble strips, it's a little unstable, but he manages to hold on to it. Kyle Holden moves into 2nd place. And it looks like he is already just checking out from A.J. Godsey. As we look back here to the 4th place car, the 55 of Harley Barletta coming up through the S's. Does not look like he is going to be able to move up, but he has quite a lead on the 21 of Stephen Gibson. Harley Barletta's got about a 30-second lead on Stephen Gibson. And looks like we might have had a change at the front again. No, we do not. Kyle Holden is still showing in 2nd place. The scoring updated for a second showed AJ in 2nd. As AJ goes wide through turn 1, Harley definitely wants to see something. He's only about 10 seconds back. You won't get many mistakes like that from AJ, though. Let's drop back and see the 23 of Jeff Hinkle currently running in 6th place. And Jody Ogden currently running in 7th as he comes through the last turn. And he's got Jeff Hinkle right in his sights. And these two guys are running for the last position and trying not to be cut off tonight in the playoffs. Jeff is 8th, Jody is 9th in points, and they are running 6th and 7th on the track. Richie West in the number 1, he is in 8th place currently, trying to pick up some positions on the points. He is currently 4th in points, 8th on track, so he's going to lose some points tonight. They knew coming into the night that this was going to shake up the playoffs and the point standings a lot, but I don't think anybody expected what we saw here tonight with the incident earlier in the race with the 22 and the 02 of Scott Snodgrass and Jody Ogden. I don't think anybody expected to see that, especially with the dominant performance that Scott Snodgrass was putting on early in this race. Scott might have been the only one that could run with David Garman. And there we see Scott. He is showing one lap down in 11th right now. He is trying to catch up to the number 64 of Kevin Reed. As he was coming through the last turn, Kevin is coming up through the S's with 6 laps to go. I don't think he's going to make up a lot of positions. It looks like Scott went to pit road. He stopped earlier than everybody else. He had to stop again for tires and for fuel as they were only running a 60% fuel load tonight. And there is your current leader with 5 laps to go, David Garman. Currently showing only 7 cars on the lead lap, but we will probably, before this thing is over, only have about 4, as several of the cars on the lead lap are just in front of David Garman, including that 23 of Jeff Hinkle right in front of him as David Garman goes to lap another one. Jeff Hinkle currently shown in 5th. I would imagine that's going to put, or Jeff is shown in 6th. That's only going to leave 5 cars on the lead lap after just 35 laps. I know David was pretty confident about tonight. I don't think he had any idea how good a car he had. But the fastest lap of the night has been from AJ Godsey by almost 0.2 of a second over David Garman. As we see David go a little bit wide coming through 1 as he's picking up some more lap cars. That's the 19 car in front of him. That is RJ Buchanan. He's a couple of laps down. Looks like Scott Snodgrass is back off of pit road, currently showing in 11th again. He is our points leader. 4 laps to go. Coming through the bus stop, there's your leader, David Garman. Second place, Kyle Holden is just now coming up through the S's. AJ Godsey is also coming up. He's at the top of the S's coming down the straightaway. And there's the 4th place car of Harley Barletta. Got to give it up to my buddy Harley. He's having one heck of a run, as usual, just sitting back there quietly running people down all night long. There is the 21 of Stephen Gibson, and currently showing in 5th place, Jody Ogden. He has moved up into 6th place. He finally got around Jeff Hinkle and Richie West. Turning one heck of a lap. Jody is turning up the heat as we come to 3 to go, trying to pick up some of those positions. And looks like he's got Stephen Gibson not far ahead of him. He might actually be able to close that distance with 3 to go. Coming to 2 to go as he comes through the bus stop. Oh, and we had an accident right behind him. See if we can find... Does not look like we can find the... Try and fast forward through the replay here. There we go. As they come to 2 to go, Jody Ogden is still showing in 6th place. Don't know if he will be able to make up the gap on Stephen Gibson. Stephen Gibson cranked it up that last lap and put a little bit more time between them. And there is David Garman chasing down Jody Ogden in 6th place. As they come through the bus stop, he is not far behind at all. Jody is definitely watching his mirror. He wants David to get by and get by cleanly as they come to 1 lap to go. And David Garman has just had a dominant performance here tonight. I think he might have been scored 1 lap where he did not lead, and that was just due to being on pit road. I'm pretty sure he has led every single lap other than when he pitted. And as they come down, they will get the white. David Garman gets the white flag. Diving off into turn 1. He probably is not going to push the issue too hard on Jody. He's got an 11-second lead over Kyle Holden. 23 seconds over AJ Godsey and 36 seconds over Harley Barletta. He does not need to do anything else but just sit back there and ride along. And we go look at our points leader right quick. That is the number 22 of Scotty Too Hottie Snodgrass, currently shown in 11th position. That incident earlier in the race between him and Jody going through turn 1 is definitely going to have dire consequences for the points tonight. It will definitely be interesting to see what the point situation is coming out of this race. As we watch the 06, he is coming down, taking the final 2 corners. I know a few of those guys are hoping he runs out of gas, but unfortunately he could coast from here, guys. Yeah, I don't think it'd matter. He could go get a splash and still pull off the win. As they come to the checkered flag, there is David Garman, your winner tonight in the BRR Watkins Glen playoff race. Looks like 2nd place will be the number 18, Kyle Holden. Then you have the 57, AJ Godsey. Harley Barletta is going to come around and finish in 4th. There's Harley finishing in 4th. There's the 21 of Stephen Gibson. He'll finish in 5th. And there is Jody Ogden, who will come around and finish in 6th. Even after the incident earlier in the race, he managed to recover and get a 6th place finish. Richie West will finish in 7th. Jeff Hinkle will finish in 8th, followed by Larry Ashby, made a comeback. He had some problems earlier in the race. We saw him off track earlier. Very early on, he manages to recover and rally for a 9th place finish, and Kevin Reed will round out the top 10 as he comes through on his final lap. And David Garman is putting on one heck of a show with his burnouts tonight. Looks like he knocked out a few donuts along the way. So the finishing order for the night will be David Garman, winner, Kyle Holden, AJ Godsey, Harley Barletta, Stephen Gibson, Jody Ogden, Richie West, Jeff Hinkle, Larry Ashby, and Kevin Reed round out your top 10. Points leader coming in tonight, Scott Snodgrass finishes 11th, followed by J.J. Parr. Cheryl Newman, quite a performance. She managed to get up to 13th after starting in 19th. I believe that's the biggest position jump of anybody on track tonight. R.J. Buchanan is in 14th, Mark Ackerman 15th, Mike Smith in 16th, Jared Heasley in 17th, Jason Room in 18th, Nicole Kriesel 19th, Jeff Zappa 20th, Brian Oshanka 21st, and that was your 21 drivers for tonight. I know from all the guys at BRR, thank you all for tuning in. It was a bit different tonight, broadcasting and not being in the race, but thank you all for tuning in and hope you have a great night.